So
Mm.
one of your questions was how do you balance that tension between doing it for the love of watches and being a commercial enterprise? And I think specifically what we bring that is different is we are the only and we are the largest and most successful and most experienced um, commercial watch events business and watch collectors club in the UK. So we bring, as Hamish said, professionalism. Like what somebody asked me, why would I join you and pay for it rather than go to this other place where I can get arguably what you're offering for free? I said, well, what you get with us is potentially multiple events a week, definitely an event every week. You get a really broad selection of events. When you turn up to your event, the events, they happen and they happen as we tell you they're going to happen. So you're not wasting any time. You're paying for something and you're getting it. And then as a result of that, we work really hard to make sure that people get a really great curated experience in the watch world. You'll have noticed like from day one, it's never been a sort of wallet measuring contest at our club. It's like genuine friends. Like everybody is a genuine friend of mine and I have a
I love
really
it.
nice
Yeah,
time.
I really do love it.
But
Yeah.
we, but I know that when a new member joins, they're going to be my friend as well. And it's not because like they're paying me to be their friend. It's because we love watches and we've taken away all the stress of loving watches and experiencing them by making sure it's a really well organized, really well oiled machine. So we don't have to worry about, oh, are enough people going to turn up? We know enough people are going to turn up because we've made sure enough people turn up. Is the venue going to be right? We know the venue is going to be right. Are the staff going to be dickheads in the store? No, because we've told them what to say and how to behave with this crowd. And I think that's what gives this real
Mm.
legs. And it's why the show was, to Hamish's point, he knew the show was going to be successful because he planned it to the nth degree.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
only thing that could have gone wrong on the day was like there'd be a massive road closure or terrorist attack, or the venue just decided we weren't doing it. But otherwise, everything was, it was act of God stuff, not.
But it comes back to that word professional, doesn't it? It's when that becomes
Yeah.
what you do, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the crucial difference, as opposed to just a casual, yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and I remember actually the last time, maybe you don't remember, Hamish, but the last time when we were walking down to the train station, you and
Mm.
I, from the that Swatch event.
Yeah.
Uh, it was really, really more than any other time. I kind of got a sense from you how seriously you take this, right? I suppose was that little walk with just you and I, just from the pub down to the train station. I was like, okay, this guy ain't messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because what happened was we did three events before the pandemic at the end of 2019, and they were so fun. Partly because we paid for everyone's drinks, but they were really fun, and people brought really interesting watches down, and it was all just colleagues and friends of do you know a guy kind of thing. So we only had about 20 people at the largest one, and then the pandemic hit. But I was always going to quit my previous career anyway, and so the question was, what do I do next? Do I do some other types of analyst jobs? Do I, look for another career in finance, or because I've been thinking of doing a startup, do I evaluate a range of startup ideas, which, I had some other ones as well, which, haven't got any worse of an idea because I'm not doing them, but just it was the research I started doing into this and just realizing that when you think about it as facilitating the enthusiasm of the collector, and you compare that to the other categories and what happens there, and you can compare that to the passion and success in these other areas because of this the passion that the people who have the hobby, which we already knew because we were watch collectors, you say, well, look at this opportunity, and then to fast forward and then trying to enact it, and it's been slow because of my long COVID and because of the pandemic lasting far longer than we'd expected, and and also all sorts of things. It's been quite a slow and steady journey rather than we've invented a flash new hot product that everybody wants. But one of the amazing things is then when you come and deal with all the people already in the industry, is how they cannot see that it's worth doing, that they cannot see, and it's not necessarily their fault. Depends on their training, their point of view, their background, all this sort of stuff, their privileges in the industry that they already have, or however they've earned them. They can't see really what we see, and what we know is the opportunity. Now, the multi-million dollar question about that opportunity is, can we do it? Have we got enough money to get there if it's slow? Which is the same with any business, so there's nothing special about that. And we raise money from friends and family, and that's what's been paying the bills the last nearly 2 years now. And I've been taking a salary for about 8 months now, because before that I wasn't taking a salary. It's just all out of my savings. And we'll see how we do next year, but the urgency is real. Revenues are there, and cash is king, and that's the reality of a small business. But what's the passion comes from the fact that now I've met all these hundreds of different participants in different companies and organizations, and how they just go, well, what's in it for me? Or, well, I'm all right, so I don't need to worry about that next collector. And that's just, it's like, are you mad? Like, imagine if you did X, Y, Z, what you'd get.
And you'll notice the difference between an event you came to last week with a big brand. You may be wearing that hat. The difference in that event versus some of the other events we've done with them, I think was quite remarkable. I tried on one watch last week, and in every other event, I tried on almost every watch in the store.
Yeah, yeah, me
Sure,
too.
I had a fun time, but if that had been my first visit to that brand, I'd have been quite disappointed because I would have left going, well, I don't know the brand, and on to the next one. Because guess what?
Ed, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. That the first experience that we had in Breitling, well, not the first experience, but
Yeah.
that first one that you talk
Yeah.
about, that is precisely what these big brands or any brand needs to do. Maybe not the smaller ones, I don't know, but I've been thinking about that a lot. And I bought a Breitling, so I've already kind of given them some of my money, right?
Yeah.
But that engagement, that they closed the doors, it was just a small amount of us. It was very focused, it was very engaged. The team were great. It was a really good story. We got to hold and try on some of their watches that you would never think that you could try on, and this is where you hook people, right? For the right reasons as well, not the cynical sales reasons, right? The right to engage their passions, to kind of make them think and aspire and plan to come back to you, right? And I came out of that first evening with no bad taste in my mouth. There was no hard sell. There was no cynical marketing spiel. It was precisely the right tone for me. But it was kind of interesting to me. I've had my interest in Breitling reignited. Look, I'm wearing the hat. Just all joking aside, but I, meeting Mo and the guys in the shop, like I've been there a couple times now. I feel like I honestly, right? This is where I'm at right now at Breitling. Unfortunately, a colleague of mine couldn't have come the other night, but I'm going to bring him this week or maybe next week, and I feel like I can walk in there, right, and I'll be welcomed, right, and it's because I've had that small, the small e engagement with the team. So I'll walk in and be like, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
and that is loyalty. That's that re-engagement. I'm going to bring people. I'm going to bring my friend Milan. He may or may not buy a watch, but that's anyway. I'm kind of waxing lyrical here a little bit, lads, but I kind of feel like I've had my whatever loyalty I have. That's the wrong word, right? Loyalty, but whatever loyalty I had to the brand, I feel like I've got a personal connection to it now.